The year 1916. Verdun, France. A place that war veterans called hell on earth. 10 months, 700,000 casualties, the longest battle in human history. And at its center, the trenches. Not heroic fortresses, but ditches of mud, water, and human sewage. Here, soldiers lived for months. Here, they fell ill, trembled from cold and fear. Here, 30% died not from bullets, but from mold. Now, imagine that you ended up there, with today's knowledge, a modern body, and a modern mind. Would you survive? Today, we will conduct a historical experiment. Based on real war diaries, medical reports, and veterans' memories, we will calculate your chances of surviving one day in a Verdun trench. And the results may surprise you or shake you. Subscribe to the channel now so you don't miss this historical survival investigation.
The first deadly challenge wasn't enemy bullets, it was the trench itself. Imagine a ditch full of water and human waste, not from a few people, from thousands. That's where you slept, ate, and lived for months. Mold spread exponentially. World War I medical reports show that every third soldier suffered from trench foot gangrene, where body parts literally rotted on living people. Today, our hygiene knowledge and antifungal treatments would increase your chances. But even then, could you last there a week? A month?
The second challenge came without any warning. Just a whistle, and then a green cloud. Chlorine. It turned lungs into liquid within 10 minutes. And mustard gas. It soaked skin, eyes, and hair, causing painful, festering wounds. Protection? Primitive masks made of blue gauze soaked in urine. Psychologically, every gas siren was pure terror. Even with today's gas masks, a directly exposed person would have only a 5% chance of survival. The third killer was invisible. Sound. For 7 days before the Verdun assault, Allied artillery fired without stopping, 140 decibels and more, vibration that shook the ground. After a few days, soldiers began to tremble, losing vision, speech, memory. Doctors called it shell shock. Today we know it was PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. But back then, treatment was electrotherapy, or being labeled a coward. Even with today's psychological help, could your psyche withstand it?
The fourth challenge was simple mathematics. 1 minute of life. That was the average time a soldier survived in no man's land, the ground between the trenches. There stood barbed wire, body parts, mud-filled craters, and enemy snipers. 90% of deaths occurred within the first 100 meters. Over-the-top attacks meant that thousands of men simultaneously climbed out of trenches and ran towards certain death. Would your physical preparation today allow you to do that?
The fifth killer was the body itself, living 4 to 6 meters underground. Dark, cold, damp, with rats that eat food and crawled over faces. But psychologically, there were subtler things. Live and let live, an unofficial agreement with the enemy. Sometimes during thunderstorms, both sides would stop shooting. Fear management, alcohol, faith, fatalism, and constant social pressure, ordinary soldiers versus officers. Even with all of today's knowledge, could your psychological resilience withstand 6 months in such an environment? Now let's put everything together. Real World War I archives show that an ordinary soldier's chance of surviving the entire Battle of Verdun was about 25%. But today,
If a 1916 soldier had a 25% survival probability, your medical knowledge would increase it to about 36%. Psychological education to about 32%. But your physical unpreparedness would reduce chances to about 15%, and psychological inexperience to about 10%. The final result? Without any knowledge, 5 to 10% probability. With all of today's knowledge, 15 to 20%. And professional 1916 soldiers' probability, 25 to 30%. If you want to see more such historical tests, subscribe to the channel.
Pyramids were built of stone, Verdun of human bodies. Today, we look at those historical events as statistics. 700,000, 10 months, 15%. But behind every number was a person with a name, with a family, with fears and hopes. Every stone in Verdun's trenches was covered not only with mud, but with blood and tears. And beneath every such battle block lies buried, forgotten human suffering.
If this Verdun survival test sparked your curiosity, now is the time. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell to get notifications about new episodes. Hit like if this historical investigation was worth your time. And share this video with friends. Test whether their knowledge and resilience would be greater. The next episode depends on you. Comment below which historical era or challenge you'd like to see in the next historical investigation. Your voice will decide. Your engagement helps us create more of these historical investigations. Sharing this video helps revive forgotten history secrets.
Thank you. Thank you for watching, for letting this story speak with you. Thank you for taking this journey with us today. Through the mud, the gas, the endless noise, and the unimaginable psychological strain of those trenches. Thank you for not just consuming history, but for attempting to truly understand it, to feel its weight, and to measure yourself against its most brutal challenges. Remember, history isn't just dates and numbers in a forgotten textbook. It's the echo of 1 million individual heartbeats. It's people stories. The farmer from Normandy who never saw his vineyard again. The teacher from Berlin whose last lesson was in a frozen trench. The artist, the brother, the son, each with a name, a face, a life unfulfilled. Their struggles, their quiet courage, their survival, or their tragic end. Measured not just in territory gained, but in humanity preserved or lost. And the question we ask today is, could you survive? Isn't just a hypothetical about the past. It's a mirror held up to our present. It's about us, about the resilience we take for granted, about the knowledge that separates our world of antiseptics and therapy from their world of gangrene and shell shock. It's about what we know, the progress we've built upon their sacrifice. But more importantly, it's about what we can still learn. We learn humility, realizing our modern comforts are a thin veneer over the same human fragility. We learn gratitude for the peace forged in the fires of their suffering. And we learn responsibility to remember, to honor, and to ensure that such comprehension of human cost guides our future so that no generation ever again has to calculate their chance of survival in a place called hell on earth. Thank you for being part of this remembrance. Until next time.